mean, I'm listed as, well, whenever people ask me what I do, I tell them, well, we're dairy farmers. What do you do? Well, I'm a dairy farmer. I work with my husband. I'm right here too. But they don't. They want me to say. I don't know what they want me to say. But they don't see me as the dairy farmer. But I mean, I'm here working with the cows, take care of the calves, and all the paperwork. That's all me ordering and keeping track of what we have, and what we don't have, and just lots and lots of record keeping. And of course, I pay all the bills and try to figure out where to get the money to pay all the bills, and yeah. But yeah. Well, I'm Tina Dieter. So we have our dairy now going on the beef farm. Grow a few crops, and I guess that's about it. I think we bought a truck. They don't always ask for me to be put on there whenever we apply for loans and stuff. They just let him do it himself, and then I'm not on there, so I don't exist. So many things are, and that's with probably a lot of women, but everything goes under the husband's name, and the woman isn't on there, so then she can't, if she has to try to do something about it, they won't talk to her. We carry a lot of the weight around here too. I mean, he doesn't seem to worry about stuff. I worry about everything. And try to figure out how to keep going, and I don't know, it's hard. I don't like to have to worry about everything.
Sisters, they pretty much were not allowed to drive tractor, which kind of was weird because it meant that I was driving the tractor and they were out behind doing the physical labor. Probably all the bookkeeping that went behind the farm, she kind of did that, but Mom didn't talk much. And so she just did it every day. She would do all the cooking. And they were the ones who took care of the house. They were the ones who cleaned up the dishes. Besides going into the barn, milking the cattle, all washing of all the equipment and keeping it in clean shape so that you don't have issues with that milk. So they did a lot of those activities. Probably they did a lot more activities than the males did in the household.
I'm Brooke Carey. I am a third generation farmer here at Plum Line Holsteins, and I would say my role is just the next generation. I feel quite underestimated almost every day, actually, especially being a woman in this industry. Luckily, I was never raised as the type of person where it's like, oh, you can't do this because you're a girl. I've always been expected to do everything a man can, so I have that mentality. We've had salesmen come to the farm before and they ask me where the boss is. And I say, I'm right here, you can talk to me. And I've had salesmen roll their eyes and leave the farm after that. We had a tornado 2 weeks ago hit the farm, and we really had no warning at all. I was in the barn doing chores, and all of a sudden everything went white. Couldn't see anything, and all I could think was to close the doors, unplug the fans, make sure there were no cows loose. We actually had the calf hutches get picked up with the calves in them, and it's such a crazy thing where just pure instinct just kicks in, and you just do what you have to do to keep everything safe.
What keeps you going on your hardest days?
The cows. Just, they rely on us for absolutely everything. And I just think about, it's my job to give them the best life and atmosphere that I possibly can, and that's what keeps me going.
It's not just a job. Yeah, I mean, I feel we're doing something important. We're making food, and I love working with the animals. The beef cows they're a lot of fun. You get to watch the calves, or just watch the calves play, and it's a good life. And I think we do something important. I really do. They do a lot of advocating. I think that's what women are doing more now. They're the one, because guys don't tend to like to do that. The guys, they're out in the fields, they're farming, they're doing whatever. but the women are the ones that are having to speak up and try to share our story and tell what's going on and just try to have people understand us better.
I think of a man with his wife and kids, and he's like the sole provider and does everything, and he's the boss. And yeah, I don't fit that role at all. I like to tackle things. I don't like to really ask for help. I like to do everything that anybody else can do.
You see somebody interviewing a farmer, and you can see that occasionally on the news and stuff like that. It's usually, you don't see the pictures of the women sitting there doing all the paperwork at night. You see the picture of the men out shoveling stuff or tractors in the field or whatever. Tina is eligible very soon for Medicaid. However, her initial consultations on this indicate that she is not eligible for Medicaid because she is a farm wife and does not have a long enough history of work for obtaining these benefits. The confusion is that the farm is in her husband's name.
I am the first female here to make sole decisions. Salesmen and vets and dealing with the bank, really just any aspect of the business. There's never been, it's where's your dad, or where's your husband, or where's your uncle, and that is changing. But that's something that, the generation before me and my mother, they never got to experience.
As we have seen, farming has grown from the small family farm. And so I think that for the farm, that the farmers themselves are becoming a lot more managers than they are actually doing the work.
And I'm a nutritionist. You can work full-time off the farm if you please to. You can also run the farm if you please to. You can do both if you please to. You can have children and a family and still work and still do anything that you want. And there is no limitations. I hear a lot in my role as a nutritionist is, oh, you're gonna have kids and then you're gonna get married and then you're not gonna do this anymore. No, actually I'm not.
When I was a milk tester, I went to a lot of different farms and I saw that a lot. There were a lot of women in there doing as much or more than the guys were, but it was the guys that were the ones that were known as the farmers. I'd like to see them be able to go out and run their own farm, or at least be recognized for what they do.
Do you think a man could run a farm by himself, especially a big one like the Waddell's?
No. I really don't. I said the big one out of Townville, Waddell's, that's Chris that keeps that place going. Because she has such a mind for, of course she does all the book work, but she's just, just right on top of everything.
We can be the owners and the decision makers and the ones that own and run the farm. That would be just the same respect as everybody else gets.